Well, hello, fabulous ones. It is your girl, titled Tina, and I am here with my brother. And thought my other brother was going to be able to hop on so we can actually have this discussion because he and I were having kind of a really heated debate. Y'all, the Synergy Syndicate is back. We are so excited. I'm excited. Prior to this, I used to come to you guys live. I was with Community National Title. I am no longer with Community National Title. I am with Refine Realty. I'm with my family. I am an agent, so I'm the girl to call if you want to buy or sell your home. All right, so we're waiting for Mike. I hope he joins us. But I want to talk about the hot topic of this Bank of America. I don't want to call it nonsense. Y'all know how I am. I'm so
I
it's
wouldn't
so
call it nonsense.
it's not nonsense, but it I put the title, Are We Being Bamboozled?
Yeah, yeah.
Are we being
It,
bamboozled?
so there, and again, this is a brand new announcement. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of stuff going on around there. There's a lot of people pushing out the information about it because there's not a lot of information out right now as well.
No.
So
No.
that's kind of one of the things that we were talking about. We felt the need to say, hey, let's have a conversation about it.
Well,
It's
the thing of it is, it's like the bait and switch. It's like they're saying, "Oh, no money down mortgages," and my daddy always said, well, my papa too. You don't get in it. You can't get something for nothing.
yeah,
That's just real. You cannot get something for nothing. There's something that tied to it. There's always pros and cons. Now, Mike had a very good point in what he was talking about in the income, but I think people need to make sure before we jump on a bandwagon, we got to educate ourselves, especially in our community. We need to make more informed, educated decisions when we do this, and
so
just don't always lean towards something that says free, unless it's some kind of free education. I'm all for free education, but usually when it has to deal with getting money, oh, you better believe there's some strings tied to it.
right.
Wouldn't you
So
agree?
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. And coming from
there
that,
it is.
so
Mm.
just from my background, right? So before I got into full-time real estate, I did work for the banks for several years. I've been with several banks, some of the bigger names. I was a VP before I left, so I'm pretty familiar with um, some of the things that I believe that are going on. So what is it? It is Bank of America's attempt to quote unquote bridge the gap between people of color and our counterparts in the home ownership aspect, right?
Right.
So basically what it comes down to, and what I believe it is what is a shell of a CRA program. What is CRA? It's a Community Reinvestment Act. A few years ago, Congress required banks to do certain things in uh, people of colors locations or areas or neighborhoods or however you want to call it in order to put money back into those situations. So what it requires a bank to do is to help low to moderate income areas and create programs that make it easier to get loans. And that is it. It's nothing new. It's not anything that Bank of America is they didn't create something that has never been out here before. CRA has been
Exactly.
out for years.
Exactly.
There's several banks that are doing it right now. So what it seems like to me is that, or the way it's being pushed out there, is that Bank of America has created this whole new program that is revolutionary and stuff like that. It's
It's
really not.
not. It's not.
It's
It's Community Reinvestment Act.
it's
And you and I both have been in banking for, I mean, oh my goodness, I was in it for 10 years, and it's a big deal because they have to invest so much money in a certain area. And
right.
let's be honest, a lot of these banks got in trouble because when you look at the numbers, They do not lend, they decline and deny minority loans more than the other.
Right.
And that's
So
what this is all about. This is basically to help them, but it still puts us in a box because guess what? If I want to live, say, in my neighborhood, I couldn't go and get this loan. Where you live, you couldn't go and get this loan. So
so
to me, it's almost like they're controlling where black and brown people can live because they're saying we're only going to loan in this area. Well, how about this? Why don't you make it accessible to other areas?
right, and that's why I hate to use the word controlling, but it's misleading to me.
Very, excuse me,
They putting out there like, oh, hey, no down payment, no PMI, which is private mortgage
private
insurance,
mortgage insurance.
no credit score and stuff like that. Again, this is something that is not a new program. I can name out 4 banks right now that have a similar program right now. The biggest thing that comes with most CRA programs is one is limited location. So you
Yep.
can, again, the house is what qualifies, not necessarily you. Whereas so the house has to be in a certain area of town. Again, not all to low to moderate income areas are in the hood or in bad places.
Right.
Made a great point when we
Yep.
were talking about it amongst ourselves. Trinity Grove area is considered low to moderate income
That's
area. So,
Mike's area.
Yep. So yeah.
even
So
for my Houston
Yeah.
area, right? That's Third Ward. That's the Museum District. That's considered moderate income area, and that's why you see a lot of programs going on over there. The second thing too, and again, all the details are not going out as far as what Bank of America is requiring. It's a bunch of blanketed statements. But what I do believe, and one of our other agents, April Williams, did a post about it earlier this morning. She was talking about there's probably going to be some type of income limitation as well.
A lot.
So it's not going to be for everybody. I was watching John Muhammad with Neighborhood Loans made a post as well. He's a lender, and he kind of explained some of the things that coming from an actual lender is like this loan's not going to be for everybody.
No.
Right? It's
And
not.
Mike brought up some good points, though. Mike, you and I are more or less kind of like, I'm not saying I'm necessarily against it. I just want people to be educated. But Mike, you brought up some very valid points when you and I were having our little discussion, my brother. So
can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I know I'm kind of late to the party.
I can.
Okay.
So I
Good
want you
deal.
to bring up your points because Steve and I, we have our viewpoint on it, but you had a very interesting take on it.
Yeah. So from my perspective is, it being available for a low to moderate income, right, in those areas. Well, places like Trinity Grove that you just brought up is a low to moderate income area, right? But at the same time, because of the gentrification, which I really don't like that word, I'm gonna call it the redevelopment of that area,
Okay.
because the redevelopment of that area, it doesn't always allow for low to moderate income people to actually buy in their own neighborhood anymore, right? So with that being said, because you have the opportunity to get free money, for lack of better words, or the Community Reinvestment Act, when you get that opportunity to get that money, you then can't even move into the area that you already live in, which is low to moderate income, right? You can't live in that area, but that doesn't stop you from being able to reinvest into a community that's just like the community that you're in. See, I always talk about this situation because typically when people get money, they leave that low to moderate income area and go up there with the high dollar folks, right? Because that's when they feel like, the Jeffersons, they moving on up to the east side, right? But when in
Yep.
reality, they should have been reinvesting into their own community. So when
Right.
opportunities like this show up, they're already planted and they're already comfortable in their own current environment. So other folks will be happy to move into their community. So I say this to say that if you live in an environment that you have and you want to get a home, move to the Oak Cliffs, move to the South Dallases, right? Because those are the areas that are going to be up and coming next, because you can't go to Frisco no more. Because if you go to Frisco, Salina, Prosper, you're going to end up
Yeah.
living in Oklahoma, right?
Right.
So if you are looking at taking advantage of that program, You have to be open-minded because you only can live in certain demographics in certain areas because that's the only place that you can. I ain't gonna say you can afford, but if you're low to moderate
But
income, those are the only places that you can buy.
okay, but Mike, you just brought up it's like a two-edged sword. You just brought up
Right,
a point. You said Trinity Groves is low to moderate income, but yet
right,
and still, because of the redevelopment, it's not going to
mhm,
stay that way. But then,
right.
can those people afford to go and buy in Trinity Groves right now? If I wanted to go to Trinity Groves and buy a piece of property, would I be able to buy a piece of property?
Yeah, the difference is you may have to buy a property that you're not necessarily in love with, right? You might have to buy a property that's kind of sitting sideways, like little Kiki and them say. But the deal is, if the property is in that area and it's sitting sideways, that same property that's a beautiful home was built on top of a property that was sitting sideways. So you have an opportunity for equity, right? It's not, you don't have to be there forever, but you got to get in the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You got to get off the bench and get in the game.
You got to
That's
get in
true.
the game.
But when we talk about the fact that you've got this redevelopment going on in these areas, and you see these homes that are going up that are a million next to uh, grandma's old house that was a shotgun house,
It's dilapidated.
it's dilapidated, right? So, what do you think the odds are? Do you think they actually had that in mind, or do you actually think this is kind of strategic on their part? And the reason why I say that is because we all know what redlining is, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's almost a way to legalize it, because what you're basically saying is, yeah, we're going to make these loans to this specific group of people, but we want you to live in a specific area.
Yep.
So
You
then you
so
may have an instance where Trinity Grove, yeah, we're saying it's low income now, but who's to say, and I don't know if it is or not because I haven't pulled the map up, to say that it is even in on the map for these banks where they're saying they want to do this
that's
reinvestment.
that's a good question. So the deal is, it is teetering the line of redlining if
Yeah,
you are out by yourself without an agent that can educate you about the market, right?
go.
You
That's the
know,
key. I
like
like how you
UNC,
work that in there, my
yeah,
brother.
like
I
UNC,
love how you
like
work that in there.
right.
You gotta have a
We've been
good
in the
realtor.
business for a long time, and the deal is, yes, they're giving away money. Yes, they want you to live in a certain environment. Yes, those two things are synonymous of owning a home in an environment that you can afford, right? But the deal is, you have to look at it long term. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're saying they need to look at it like a lot of people do, as from an investment. This is just an investment. This is
Correct.
a move up opportunity, if you
For
will.
me, that's what I would do. That's what I would tell my clients. I don't know about you guys. What about you, Steve?
I absolutely. Again, I always going to talk about home ownership over renting
Yeah.
anytime, and the fact
Oh,
that they are lowering the bar to home access, I applaud them for that. That is something that I do think that it
but
is good. But again, it's not anything special, right?
no,
It's just
but I just, my
go
brother,
ahead.
the thing I have an issue with is when you say lower the bar. Why do we have to have the bar lowered in the first place? That's what it gets down. That's what it boils down to for me. I'm tired of them when it comes to people of color, black or brown, feeling like they always have to lower it down, or someone has to come in and basically make these institutions do what they're supposed to do. And okay, granted, I see what Mike's saying. Take advantage of it, make the best out of a bad. I don't want to say bad situation. Make the best out of a different situation, but it to me it just doesn't really address the whole issue.
So,
Because if you're going to, the reason why they're doing this is because they're not making enough loans to minority homeowners. Okay,
well,
instead
the
of doing
deal
that,
is,
just say we're going to do better at when we do our underwriting.
But that but that's not. This is America, man.
I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying, but
Maybe some of them, maybe they don't want to
no,
go
I
back
understand what
to
you're
the
saying.
neighborhood.
Where we shouldn't have to, like you said, lower the bar or do that. They just need to do the right thing. But
Do the right thing, like Spike Lee said. Do
but
the right thing.
they haven't, right? And that's why and again, in most cases, when a bank comes out with a CRA program like this, normally they have gotten in trouble.
Somebody popped them on the head.
And popped them on the head,
exactly.
so they came out with this. What Mike is saying is take advantage of the situation where you can now get, if it was down payment that was stopping you from getting into the door, if it was PMI, because again, PMI is private mortgage insurance.
Right.
Private mortgage insurance is added to every loan, or well, majority of your loans, your FHAs and your conventionals, no matter what you put down, if you're not putting down at least 20%, right? So that's an additional, as low as $100. I've seen as high as $300 a month that is added to your payment, which goes into your DTI calculation, which causes you to not be able to purchase as much home as you possibly could. And it's dead money, because that money does not go towards any benefit for you. That is absolutely for the bank.
Throwing it out the window.
Yeah. So it's protection for the bank, just in case you foreclose, right? So if you can take out $120 or $200 of PMI, again, being able to have no down payment, that is the ability for some people that have been stopped from being able to get a home loan or be able to get into a home mortgage and never thought about they could ever get it. So I get what Mike is saying. It's like, hey, take advantage of it. It may not be your dream home, but it gets you in the home ownership door where you can.
It's deeper than that, though. But it's deeper than that, because we all have children here. So let's look at it, even because when we're buying a home, we look at decisions of what's the school system like. And let's be honest, in some of these areas that they probably have this housing, you're putting your children in an area where the school system may not be up to.
Can I cut you short on that part? They already live in that environment, right? They already live in that environment.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So at that point, they're renting in that environment. They're paying.
All right, gotcha.
They're paying 100% or over 100% for the place that they're living in, for that school system, for that environment, and all of the above, right? But the deal is they have no ownership.
Nothing they have to the kids.
Nothing to pass to the kids. Nothing to say, hey, you know what? This is our opportunity, because we got to be here for 2 years, 3 years, and then we can move to another neighborhood. Because a lot of times they got a 12th grader, an 8th grader, a 6th grader, a 4th grader, and a 2nd grader, right? So, but the 12th grader or the high school kid has already made it through the school system. So who's to say when baby graduate and they say, you know what, we're gonna up and move because he's done. We got X amount of years still in this program, in this neighborhood, in this demographic to make a move. But the deal is, if they don't buy a home in that neighborhood, they're gonna buy another apartment in somebody else's neighborhood, and they're gonna pay extra money.
Okay, that's valid. You know what? That's valid. That's valid. But still, I just think it's almost like control. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like, and it's probably because of me, y'all. I don't like being control. I feel like I don't have control over something. But it's almost like they're telling us where to live, because they're saying, well, you can get this carrot, but you only gonna get this carrot if you're over here. When instead they should have addressed. The problem I think I see is that they never address the big problem.
No,
how did you get here in the first place?
I see what you're talking about, where again, it's to me, it's just them putting a new wig on the same chick, right? Hey,
don't downplay them new wigs. Don't downplay what a new wig can do for you. It can change your life.
It's still the same person. So I control it. I hate to use that word because again, the program is out there to help home ownership. But to your point, Tina, it only services a certain area. So you're not going to be able to go out to Frisco and to Forney and to other areas that are more affluent or more appealing.
Steve, Steve, I thank God for this opportunity for my people because they didn't
Oh,
take
absolutely.
advantage of all the other resources available to them. Right? We
Right.
have choice. I every day, every morning, we wake up with a choice and an opportunity. Right? And if we don't like our living circumstances, if we don't like the community that we live in, if we don't like the job that we go to, if we don't like the food that we got to go buy because we only can afford a certain amount of food, then that's a decision that we make every day because we got the choice to self-improve. We got the choice to fire our boss. We got the choice to do entrepreneurship. We got the choice to go back to school and get an education. We got the choice to save our money and not
We
buy
do.
Jordans and not buy
Mhm.
rims and not
Yeah.
buy Gucci and not, you know what I mean? Not buy
Yeah.
red bottoms, not go to the club. So all those choices we have before they give us the opportunity for this program. So now, even with all those bad choices and those irresponsible decisions that our people make. Well, I say our people, all people make those decisions that people make. Now they
Yep.
still get a opportunity for home ownership with no money down in
Yeah.
a neighborhood that they can afford.
Again, I'm not against it at all. What I'm saying is this is not anything new.
It ain't
I was
no.
doing this. I was doing this back in 2005. This type of program with the bank that I was at, we
Yeah.
introduced that, and I'm not going to name the bank, but we introduced this because we got in trouble, and
Hmm.
we were
It
trying
sounds like
to.
NASA to me.
And NACA is a nonprofit organization.
Right, but
Yes.
it sounds like
Uh,
the same program.
it's again the
Math is a little
information.
different though.
Yeah, it's a little different, Mike,
It's
because
different.
it's the information I've gotten out of it so far is that again they keep saying that there's no credit score requirement, but they're going to look at your payment history. From what I've gotten, be able to get out of information from some of the people that I've talked to, they're going to look at your payment history. There can't be any collections. There can't be
Hmm.
any, I believe, no late payments for at least either 12 months or 18 months. And then they're also
Right.
going to be looking at rental history, utilities, things like that. Make sure you haven't been behind, things like that. So there are some factors in there that could still disqualify you because of the so it's
That's the
I'm
deal.
a NACA certified agent, so I understand NACA kind of works and helps you get your credit, and it's a
Hmm.
good program.
They teach you budget, and it's more of an education. It's almost like a little
Right.
bit of financial literacy that's there. There's
Mhm.
also education that goes with it, and different things like that that actually go with all of it.
So look, dig this. So basically, you you gotta qualify still.
You see a
You do.
qualification.
You
That's
do.
the deal.
Yeah,
You still gotta qualify to get this money, right?
yeah.
This program is great. It's an opportunity. But if you ain't paying your bills on time, if you're still not responsible with your household responsibilities, um, it don't matter what program they roll out. The people can't buy a house if they're not paying their bill, if they can't pay their water bill, if
Right.
they can't pay their car note. So
It
um,
just, I mean, when it comes down to it, man, the type of agent that I am, I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a great program. If you use it correctly, and it can absolutely skyrocket you into home ownership. But there's a parts of the program that are very restrictive, and
mhm.
and it's not what everybody is pushing it out to be. I saw the TikToks, I've seen some posts, I've seen some others from other people in our industry that are just pushing the good side or the easy side or the, hey, Bank of America is doing that and not telling the entire story of the program.
Man,
And that's what, that's kind of, that's always going
so
to be near and dear to
So
my
you
heart.
know what I like to know, you guys, as we kind of get ready to wrap our discussion up. I want to know what the squad thinks. What our squad out there, how do they feel? Do we feel like this is just putting lipstick on a pig? Are we being
that's what I was about to say.
bamboozled, hoodwinked,
That's what I was gonna say,
run
man. I
amok?
think
Is
it
that the
looks
line
too good.
when they say run amok?
Does
I
it look
mean,
too good to be true, right?
is it too? I'm telling you, anything that's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Everything that glitter ain't gold.
Right. It's super too early to tell. Is a
super
brand
too
new
early.
announcement. Let's look at some numbers. How many people actually apply for this thing? How many people actually qualify? And how many people they actually put into homes? And
There
then
you go. There you go.
after that happens, and if it's actually creating the or diminishing the gap that they're trying to get, then I applaud Bank of America. I'll be right behind it. I'll be jumping on the bandwagon too. But right
That
now,
gap will never be closed. It'll never be closed. That's like you trying to catch. You can't catch up with someone that's already lapped you twice in a race.
No, I don't agree.
You can close the gap, Mike, but
I
it'll
don't
never be
agree.
equal. You can close it a little
would
bit.
it ever be equal?
No.
But I would I mean I'm of the mindset that I'm not going to not continue to try to close the gap.
Exactly. Now we're
So
gonna do that.
we're
And the
going
other
to
thing
continue
is
to try to close the gap and
about
any
building wealth through
yeah.
through real estate.
And we're going to use any tool that's out there. I got some great lenders that got some opportunities out there that we don't have to go through that program.
So that's what I was saying, man.
Yeah.
There's other down
I'm
payment
just talking
assistance.
about
If the Bank of America program does what it's supposed to do and that it's advertised to do, I will be right on board with it and proponent it as well.
Me too.
Let me say something real quick. So I made a post this morning, kind of hitting right on this before we even had the call this morning for the emergency meeting, right? And I said, get around some people that are doing something that pushes you to where you want to go, right? If you are in your, that group of 5, you are the average of the 5 people you're around, then you should see success. It goes further than that. Now, us 3, we have access to educating people on this down payment assistance program, on this Bank of America program, and other programs available outside of this surge of excitement, right? But the deal is, if you are still hanging around the same folks, they got you trying other stuff that's taking you out of position to be able to take advantage of this, you're not going to be able to get to the finish line of home ownership. So you need to get with a realtor, get with a financial advisor, get with somebody, an accountant, to help you get your finances in order. So when it's your time to swing your bat, you're making it on base, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Because this could be good. This is a great opportunity for everybody who is in a low to moderate income financial circumstance. But in order for you to take advantage of this program, you need to get with a professional to kind of guide you through it and see if it even gonna work for you based on what you've been doing prior to this program coming out. And if we can undo everything that you've already done. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
The program's dope. It's a great program. It sucks that it's just for the low to moderate income people. You got to live in a certain neighborhood, but at the same time, you got to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. You got an opportunity to get out the dugout.
And you know what, you guys, with that being said, we're going to Mike end in the last statement. We are giving you a chance to get out of the dugout on September the 16th from 6 to 8. We will be hosting the Dance to Home Ownership and Wealth at Giddy's Bar and Grill in Frisco, Texas. It is a seminar like you've never seen before because we've got a professional dance instructor that's going to give you all the right moves so you can dance over your threshold, whether that be in where is it, Trinity Groves, or wherever you choose to live. And then also know that we have lenders that have programs accessible to you that are just as good.
It may be a better fit.
I think it's a better fit because you get to choose wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling you where you have to live. So with that being said, Steve, you want to take us out?
Yeah, man. So excited to be able to be back talking about real estate with my brothers and my sisters. Miss being out here having these candid conversations. Nothing is scripted. We have a topic, and we literally just. I mean, these are the conversations we have with each other every day on our calls when we're talking to each other. We just putting it on a platform in front of y'all. Because a lot of what we talk about, like I said, we all agree that it needs to be heard. And again, these are all our opinions about it. A lot of information out there right now that are still coming out. about the Bank of America loan program. Again, wherever you sit on that aisle, absolutely educate yourself on that. Like Mike said, reach out to a professional that has access to that information, or to individuals that have the information to get yourself going. But again, we are on the road to home ownership. I am Stephen Thomas with Refine Realty with my sister Title Tina, my brother Micheal Chatman. It was great talking with y'all. We're going to have more topics coming to you guys soon about what's going on with the market, because everything is starting to shift. It was crazy the last time we talked to y'all, where houses were going off the market in 2 and 3 days. Markets are starting to make a shift at this point. So what does that look like for you as a seller? What does that look like as you as a buyer? We're talking about changing in interest rates, with that, all those type of things we're going to be talking to you guys about. We're going to bring on some special guests as well, so they can talk more in depth. So again, we are back. We're going to make more informative information, topics and information for y'all guys, and we can't wait to see y'all, man.
I can't either. And I gotta let Mike, I want to see him close out, but I gotta let Mike, because he's got kind of a stronger viewpoint on it. There we do. Mike, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So
All
the
right.
deal is, if you're looking at buying a house, I would advise you to contact one of these 3 people on the screen. You got 3 experts in real estate that can teach you about buying and selling a home, and you also have an advocate that they can walk you through that program. I'm for the program. I like the idea of home ownership. I don't like the idea of having to live in a certain zip code or certain area. But at the end of the day, you get an opportunity to play. So if you're looking for some agents or some professionals to guide you through this program, holler at the Squad Cast, and we'll put you on the right path to home ownership. I'm Michael Chatman, the student home advisor, and that's what I got to say.
Title Tina with Refine Realty. Toodles.
Peace.
Bye, my brothers.
Hey.